They're slave-minded. These people work for the Matrix. They're agents of the Matrix themselves. They don't truly understand what they're doing. They are programmed completely. And this last 3 years has shown how programmed people can be. People can literally throw away their common sense, throw away their observation skills, and sit there and just absorb programming and say, Andrew is bad. Inflation is good. And they're just clowns. They're clowns. I would love to sit down with the clown who wrote that article and say, why am I bad? And if we had a podcast with that person, whoever they are, that nobody, because they're a nobody, that brokey, across an hour, I would decimate them. I would destroy them. And they know it. They'd make a fool of themselves. So they just sit there and go, and hide back in their cave to talk more shit. Clowns.
Do you think the powers that be have pushed it too far recently with lockdown, and that's why you had this rise? Or was there another reason behind? Because you've been doing social media for a long time, and the last couple of years of where you've really exploded. What's the reason behind that, in your opinion?
Power is a funny thing. And most people who have power in their lives don't understand exactly how power works. And power is a fantastic thing to wield, but there's always a line. And once you overstep that line, you have a difficult choice. So we can apply it to, let's say, a government. If you're a government, you have power. If people start to riot, you can send the riot police. That's fine. But if people continue to riot and you continue to be more and more draconian and you send the riot police to, let's say, shoot at unarmed people in a crowd, like they did in Romania in 1989, for example. Once you overstep the line with power, people no longer trust you with power. Once they don't trust you with power, you have mass rebellion and things must change. People who've been in charge of information for a very long time had the power, but it got to the point where after lying to everybody for 3 years, nobody trusts them with the power anymore. You can't decide what I get to read because I trusted you to decide what was good and bad for me, and you completely ruined it. So yeah, a lot of people, anyone with a brain, anyone who doesn't work for the fucking Guardian, has clowns.
I think most people our age don't trust newspapers.
Who wrote the article? Who wrote the article? Tell me their name. Look it up.
Let's name and shame this guy.
Shame this clown.
It'll take me a minute. Hold on.
So once you can't be trusted with power anymore, now what do? Right? Because nobody wants them to have power. So people are trying to seek out information in alternative ways. So yeah, there is some divine timing with my rise. Certainly. There is some divine timing with it. But yeah, also it still takes bravery to stand up and speak out because I have had genuine real world detriment for doing what I've done.
It's Shanti Das.
Shanti Das. I challenge Shanti Das to a debate and have a nice long conversation and absolutely destroy her so that she can sit there and make a fool of herself.
Well, I think their offices are quite close, so we could shout out from the window and get them over.
Shanti Das. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, they're not trusted with power anymore. So it's an interesting change of the guard. It's going to be interesting to see who comes into place. But there has been real world detriment to doing what I've done. They did delete me across all social medias and delete me on every app on my phone and freeze all my bank accounts and try and raise criminal charges against me for things I haven't done. And there has been real consequences.
So how did you get around them freezing your bank accounts?
Well, you don't, do you? You have to just deal with the long legal process of having 7 or 8 bank accounts and millions of pounds frozen. And they just issue AFOs and they just freeze it. So this is the thing. It all ties into how deep you go into the matrix. Is the money that you have yours? Is the house that you own yours? Is any of it yours? You piss off a government. Piss off a government and tell me what's still yours. And you'll soon learn that none of it is yours. You think you own it. That's my money. I worked for it. I paid my taxes on it, so it's mine. No, it's not.
So bearing that in mind, are you worried about what you own? Because if it's not yours, they can take it away and you are speaking out against them.
I don't own anything.
I've heard you say that a few times.
So can you explain that?
Can you enlighten that? You own nothing,
I don't own anything. I'm just some dude.
I think you have a Bugatti though, don't you?
Yeah, when you say nothing, do you mean
do you not
nothing?
own it?
Nothing.
Okay, that's good.
I don't own anything. There are cars. Let's say there's a
that you have access to.
Correct. a trust in Singapore may own a percentage of a company in Dubai, which may have access to a car that I could borrow on a social media influence contract, perhaps.
Yeah.
But I don't own anything. And that's because if you own things, they come for you. Elon Musk tweeted it the other day. Someone tweeted Elon saying, what is the countdown until they raid Elon Musk's home for releasing the truth about what the FBI is doing with the election interference? And his response was, I don't have a home. You get to a certain level of wealth where you're like, you know what? It's easier just to not have things. I don't have anything. I can rent.